What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this place. I'm back in Toronto for a little bit, just for a few hours actually. I'm flying over to Shanghai tonight on Air Canada business class. I'll be going back to China for a little bit to see my family over the next 4 to 6 weeks-ish. We'll see. Anyway, these days we gotta go to the airport early, so even though the flight's in 4.5 hours, let's pop on over. And this way. It is eerily quiet and empty in here, but that's nothing new these days. The Air Canada domestic lounge is open right now, but the international lounge is closed, so we pop up to the domestic lounge before boarding our flight. I'm really happy to have made it because it has been a pretty stressful day. Everybody who's going to China these days has to complete a health declaration form, and then they have to wait for their green code to show up on the phone. And it kind of looks like this. It's kind of like a literal portal that lets you board your flight to China. And my code didn't show up until just a few hours before I had to check in, so that was pretty stressful. Looks like they're not serving any food either, so I'm gonna have to go get a drink. Cheers to a 17-hour flight. That's right, tonight's flight is gonna be 17 hours and 20 minutes long, because Air Canada only does this Shanghai route once a week, and there's a technical stop in Seoul, South Korea for the crew quarantine purposes. So it's gonna be a really long one. It's almost scarily quiet and empty here at Pearson Airport. I mean, there's no one around here. After staring wistfully at the International Maple Leaf Lounge and then picking up some duty-free items for my mum, it was time to board. Tonight's flight is on the Air Canada Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, and I found myself in seat 4A by the windows. Taking a look around the seat, we have the entertainment monitor right up front, and then below that is the tray table that can slide towards you and then fold over into place. Over on the seat console to your side, there's a big storage compartment that houses the entertainment controller, as well as the power outlet, USB outlet, and the headphone jack. The storage space here is large enough to put your phone or a few small trinkets during your flight. The electronic seat controls are positioned down below, and you'll also notice a little gap here where you can thread your charging cable and use your device while it's charging. Up top, there's also a reading light, and then around the other side, completing the Air Canada business class seat, is an armrest that can be raised and lowered, as well as an additional storage space. The literature pocket is down by your feet, as is the under-seat storage space. All of the in-flight items were housed in a single plastic bag, including the headphones, the Clean Care Plus kit, and the amenity kit by Montreal-based Want Les Essentiels. It was a full flight tonight, and we soon pushed back from the gate for takeoff.
Mesdames, Messieurs, en raison de la pandémie de COVID-19, nous devons ajuster notre service à bord pour assurer la sécurité de tous. We encourage you to wear your seatbelt at all times.
Yep, please. Something to drink for you. On this 1:20 a.m. departure, the Asian-inspired dinner of ginger beef with rice noodles and ginger chicken with quinoa and brown rice was naturally served very shortly after takeoff. Let's try the first bite. Spicy. While the ginger beef appetizer was relatively tasty, the real highlight of the meal was definitely the ginger chicken with bok choy and pickled radishes, and I quite enjoyed every bite of it. Now, I can't exactly say the same about the salad, which was pretty average, but I thought the panna cotta dessert was delicious and really did a good job of tying the meal together, as did a glass of the Laurent Perrier champagne. I am pretty sleepy now, but I'm just gonna get a little bit more work done, and then I can go to sleep. There's about 10 hours, maybe 9.5 hours left to go until we make our first landing into Seoul. And I really wouldn't mind if I just slept for that whole time, because I'm so tired. Wow. I actually slept for the rest of the flight pretty much, and there's 30 minutes left to go until we land. I actually slept through the whole meal too. They put the food down on my table, and I just kept sleeping. It was good sleep. Air Canada business class, sleep quality, when you really need it, it's top notch. By the time I woke up, we were already making our descent into Seoul Incheon Airport.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Incheon. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and your baggage stowed until the seatbelt sign has been turned off. Smoking. So we've been in Seoul for about an hour now. Have not been able to get off the plane. Just looking outside at Incheon International Airport, thinking about all the good times here in the past. Hopefully won't be long until we're able to return. The first wisps of daylight were just peeking out over South Korea as we ascended back into the air, and I was treated to a spectacular sunrise as we reached cruising altitude, bringing about a distinct sense of morning calm in the land of exactly that. After a quick 1.5 hour hop across the Yellow Sea, it was time to make our final approach into our final destination, Shanghai. Now, I was very interested in documenting the process of entering China, but there was a bunch of no photography signs everywhere, so I took photos when I couldn't see the signs. We were directed down a series of long hallways, and we had to take a nasal and throat PCR test at the first checkpoint. The test was uncomfortable, but nothing new compared to the many PCR tests that I had done by this point. After that, it was onwards to the usual immigration checkpoint, and then to baggage claim and customs. All right, let's go. After customs, we were separated into groups of about 20 passengers each, and then directed along another series of hallways en route to the bus that would bring us to the quarantine hotel. After a lot of waiting around, we finally boarded the bus that would bring us to a randomly selected hotel for our 14-day centralized quarantine. I was exhausted and ready to rest by this point, but having been gone from China for so long, it was good to be back. We had to fill in a variety of forms and disclosures committing to the 14-day quarantine, and then finally, we were able to make our way into the hotel. The hotel staff members, decked out in full personal protective equipment, took our payment for the stay, took note of our meal preferences, and then handed me my keys to the room. This is going to be home for the next 2 weeks. And that's me. Finally made it to Shanghai after a 23 hour journey. I've checked into my 14-day quarantine here at the Blue Sky Hotel, or Lantian Bingguan here in Shanghai. It's good to remove my mask too after so long. Right now it's 11:22 a.m. so I'm wondering if I'm gonna get lunch anytime soon. So I hope you enjoyed this video about the journey from Canada to China, which is where I'm gonna be for the next little while, between 1 and 2 months-ish. I'm also gonna make another video shortly about the experience doing the 14-day quarantine here in Shanghai, so look out for that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Prince of Travel YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.